In July 2024, Vybz Kartel walked out of prison after 13 years and became the most streamed dancehall artist in the world within weeks of his release. The crowds outside Tower Street Prison in Kingston, Jamaica were insane. Thousands of fans broke through barriers screaming for their hero. When Vybz Kartel finally emerged, he kissed his fiancée Sedum and left in a white limousine. Within hours, his music started breaking streaming records. Songs he'd recorded from behind bars suddenly topped charts worldwide. Drake posted pictures wearing a Free Kartel shirt. The entire music world celebrated. But this isn't just a story about freedom. This is a story about a man who ruled dancehall from a prison cell, who found love through prison glass, who has 7 children with 5 different women, and who became a legend while fighting for his life. This is the story of the world boss, the teacher, the dancehall king, Vybz Kartel. Let's start with what just happened because it's incredible. On July 31, 2024, the Jamaica Court of Appeal made their decision. They ruled that Vybz Kartel would not face a retrial for murder. He was free. After 13 years, 4 months, and 22 days in prison, he could finally go home. The court cited several reasons. His health was deteriorating badly. He had Graves' disease, a serious thyroid condition that was literally killing him. He had heart problems. The last 6 months in prison, he said later, were the worst. He was fading away. The court also mentioned the time and money a retrial would cost. There weren't enough witnesses. The whole case was falling apart, so they let him go. But here's the wild part. Even before his release, Vybz Kartel was still dominating dancehall music. While locked in a cell with no air conditioning, no private bathroom, sometimes no running water, he was recording hit songs. In 2016 alone, he released over 50 new songs from prison. 50 songs from a jail cell. He would record vocals over prison phone lines. His team would send him beats. He'd write lyrics and send them back. Then, producers would mix everything together. The quality was sometimes rough, but the creativity was unstoppable. Songs like Fever, Summertime, and Infrared became massive hits. People couldn't believe he was making this music from prison. His real name is Adidja Palmer. He was born on January 7, 1976 in Kingston, Jamaica. He grew up in the Waterford district, a tough neighborhood where music was one of the few ways out. He started recording as a teenager in 1993. His first song was called Love Fat Woman. He used the name Adi Banton back then, paying respect to Buju Banton, who was huge at the time. Later he joined a group called Vybz Kartel. When the group split up, he kept the name for himself. It fit him perfectly. Vybz, because he brought the energy. Kartel, because he ran things like a boss. In the early 2000s, Kartel joined forces with Bounty Killer, one of dancehall's biggest stars. They formed the Alliance, a crew of talented artists. But in 2006, Kartel and Bounty Killer had a massive falling out. The beef was public and ugly. Kartel left the Alliance and started his own movement called the Portmore Empire. He named it after his neighborhood in Portmore. He signed young, talented artists including Popkawan, Tommy Lee Sparta, and others. These artists became stars under Kartel's guidance. He taught them how to write lyrics, how to perform, how to build a brand. That's why fans started calling him Teacher. He was teaching the next generation. Kartel's music was different from other dancehall artists. He talked about everything. Street life and violence, yes. But also love, relationships, social issues, politics, and controversial topics nobody else would touch. In 2010, he gave a lecture at the University of the West Indies where he defended skin bleaching, a practice many Jamaicans were angry about. Kartel had bleached his own skin lighter, which caused huge controversy. He didn't apologize. He explained his reasons and challenged people to think differently. Love him or hate him, you couldn't ignore him. His influence on dancehall culture was massive. He also became a successful businessman. In 2008, he launched Vybz Rum with American businessman Corey Todd. They created other products including Daggerin condoms and Street Vybz Rum. He had endorsement deals and sponsorships. He hosted his own reality TV show called Teacher's Pet on Jamaican television. 20 women lived in a house competing for his attention. The show was controversial because of the sexual content, but it was hugely popular. Then in September 2011, everything changed. Police arrested Kartel on murder charges. The case involved a man named Clive Williams, nicknamed Lizard. Williams was Kartel's associate. According to prosecutors, Williams and another man were given 2 illegal guns to hold. They never returned the guns. In September 2011, Williams was called to Kartel's house in Havendale. He was never seen again. His body was never found. But police claimed they had evidence on Kartel's phone. Text messages that talked about chopping up Williams' body. Video footage from that day. Witness testimony. In March 2014, after a 65-day trial, Kartel and 3 other men were convicted of murder. The judge sentenced Kartel to life in prison with a minimum of 35 years before parole. The conviction shocked the music world. Kartel maintained his innocence from day one. He said the evidence was planted. The text messages were fabricated. The case was corrupt. His lawyers immediately started appealing. In 2020, the Jamaican Court of Appeal upheld his conviction. But then, his legal team took the case to the UK Privy Council, Jamaica's highest court of appeal. And in March 2024, the Privy Council made a stunning announcement. They overturned Kartel's conviction because of juror misconduct. One juror had allegedly tried to bribe other jurors during the trial. This was serious enough to throw out the entire conviction. The case went back to the Jamaica Court of Appeal to decide if there should be a retrial. And on July 31, 2024, they said no. Kartel was free. He walked out of Tower Street Prison and immediately started living again. Within days, he attended the Grammy Awards in Los Angeles. In February 2025, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the MOBO Awards in London. He's working on new music with DJ Khaled and other major artists. He's performing live for the first time in over 13 years. The comeback is real. But let's talk about his personal life because it's complicated. Kartel has 7 children with 5 different women. His oldest daughter is Adidja Palmer, also known as Girl Boss. Her mother is Sherika Todd, an entrepreneur. Then there's his son Shaheem, who lives in the United States. His 3 most well-known children are his sons with Tanisha Johnson, his longtime common-law wife who everyone calls Shorty. Their sons are Jaheim Palmer, known as Lickle Vybz, Akil Palmer, known as Lickle Adi, and Eichel Palmer, known as World Boss Jr. Lickle Vybz and Lickle Adi are both recording artists following their father's footsteps. Kartel has another son named Kahieme with a different woman, and he has a younger daughter named Amani with yet another woman. That's 7 kids total, 5 boys and 2 girls. His relationship with Shorty was rocky for years. They were together, then apart, then back together. In 2018, Kartel publicly announced they'd broken up. He said she wasn't authorized to do business on his behalf anymore. Then in 2019, they seemed to be back together based on social media posts. But by the time Kartel was released in 2024, Shorty was nowhere to be seen. The woman standing next to him when he walked out of prison was someone completely different. Her name is Sidem Ozturk. Sidem is a 34-year-old social worker originally from Turkey. She's of Kurdish descent but moved to London as a young girl. She spent over 29 years in the UK working as a social worker, helping vulnerable adults and children. She studied psychology, philosophy, and sociology at university. She's educated, intelligent, and dedicated to helping others. So how did she end up engaged to a Jamaican dancehall artist serving life in prison? The story is actually beautiful in a strange way. Sidem first started corresponding with Kartel in 2015. She was a fan of his music. She started writing him letters. They became pen pals. For 4 years, they only knew each other through letters and phone calls. Then, in 2019, Sidem traveled to Jamaica to meet him in person at the prison. The connection was instant. They fell in love despite the circumstances. Sidem decided to leave her life in London and move to Jamaica permanently. She wanted to be near Kartel even if it meant only seeing him through prison glass during visiting hours. In the summer of 2022, Kartel proposed to Sidem during a prison visit. It wasn't a traditional proposal. They'd been calling each other hubby and wifey. One day Kartel said that wasn't serious enough. He told her, "You're my fiancé now. We're going to get married." No ring. No big romantic gesture. Just a promise made across a table in a prison visiting room. Sidem accepted immediately. She told reporters later that loving Kartel was the easiest thing she'd ever done. She said his love is so strong, it takes over everything. To know Addy is to love Addy, she explained, using his real name, Adidja. When Kartel was released in July 2024, Sidem was right there. The first video he posted on Instagram showed them kissing as he left prison. He captioned it, "Me and Wiffy." They left in that white limousine together. Since then, they've been inseparable. They launched a YouTube channel called Kiss Me Baby. They traveled together. In November 2024, Kartel proposed again, this time for real. He got down on one knee in a hotel room and gave her an engagement ring. He posted the video saying, "I proposed in prison, but I proposed in real life too. You were there when I needed you most, and I'll never leave you, baby." Sidem has said they won't have children together until they're married. It's important to her culture and her values. Kartel told her mother they'd get married first, then make babies. So a wedding is definitely coming soon. But the relationship hasn't been without controversy. Many of Kartel's Jamaican fans criticized him for dating a white woman from Turkey instead of a black Jamaican woman. Kartel shut down those critics hard. He wrote on social media, "She's white? Get off my page with simple-minded, ignorant rubbish." He defended Sidem and their love publicly multiple times. Some people also questioned whether Sidem was genuine or just attracted to Kartel's fame. But anyone who looks at their story can see she was there during his worst years. She moved to a foreign country to be near him when he had nothing to offer but letters and phone calls. She visited him in prison for years, with no guarantee he'd ever be free. She stuck with him when many people would have walked away. That's not someone chasing fame. That's real love. Meanwhile, Shorty and the other mothers of Kartel's children have stayed relatively quiet. Shorty posted on Instagram around the time of his release but said nothing about Sidem. She seemed unbothered, posting quotes about not letting things affect her emotions if they don't affect her pocket. Sherika Todd, the mother of his oldest daughter, actually appeared in a video with Sidem once. They jokingly called themselves sister wives and seemed friendly. The whole situation is complicated, but everyone seems to be handling it maturely for the sake of the children. Since his release, Kartel has spent quality time with his sons. Videos show him bonding with Little Vybz, Little Addy, and Iko. They eat meals together. They travel together. In one video, Kartel, Sidem, and Iko are sitting in first class on a flight. Kartel captioned it, "If it's not private, it's first class." Fans praised Saidem for letting Aiko sit next to his father while she sat across the aisle. It showed she understood the importance of father-son bonding without being insecure or demanding attention. Kartel's health is still a major concern. The Graves' disease he developed in prison is serious. It affects the thyroid and can be life-threatening if not treated properly. He also has heart problems. During his last months in prison, he said he felt like he was fading away. The conditions were brutal. No air conditioning in the Jamaican heat, no private toilet in his cell. Sometimes, no running water. He described it as inhumane. Now that he's free, he's getting proper medical treatment. He looks healthier in recent photos and videos. But the damage from 13 years in those conditions will take time to fully heal. His legacy in dancehall is undeniable. Many experts call him the greatest dancehall artist of all time. He influenced an entire generation of artists. His creativity, his wordplay, his willingness to push boundaries, his business sense, all of it changed the genre. Even artists who don't like him personally respect his impact. Popcaan, who Kartel mentored, became a massive star. Tommy Lee Sparta built a successful career. Dozens of other artists owe their starts to Kartel's Portmore Empire. He didn't just make music. He built a movement. The murder case will always be part of his story. Some people believe he's innocent and was railroaded by a corrupt system. Others believe he's guilty, but was released on a technicality. The truth is complicated. The conviction was overturned because of juror misconduct, not because new evidence proved his innocence. The court decided not to retry him because too much time had passed, his health was failing, and the case was weak without new witnesses or evidence. Whether he actually killed Clive Williams is something only Kartel and those who were there really know. But legally, he's a free man now. The system said the trial was unfair and let him go. What comes next for Vybz Kartel is exciting to watch. He's already working on major collaborations. DJ Khaled has teased new music with him. Other international artists want to work with him. He's planning live performances and possibly a world tour. His story of creating music from prison and then being freed is the kind of comeback story Hollywood makes movies about. He went from literally fading away in a prison cell to performing at award shows and making headlines worldwide. That's incredible resilience. His relationship with Saidem is also worth celebrating. Finding love in the darkest circumstances. Building a relationship through prison glass. Staying committed when there was no guarantee of freedom. And now being able to actually live together and build a life. That's the kind of love story people root for. Whether they get married in Jamaica, Turkey, London, or somewhere else entirely, it will be a celebration of love that survived impossible odds. Vybz Kartel's 7 children are watching their father rebuild his life. His sons see him as a survivor and a fighter. His daughters see him as someone who never gave up. Whatever mistakes he made in the past, whatever controversies he created, he's now focused on family, music, and health. At 48 years old, he's getting a second chance that many people never get. He's making the most of it. The dancehall king is back. The world boss is free. And Vybz Kartel's legacy continues to grow. From recording 50 songs a year in a prison cell, to standing on stage accepting Lifetime Achievement Awards. From fighting for his life against Graves' disease, to traveling first class with his fiancée and son. From 13 years of hell, to freedom and success. That's the story of Adidja Palmer, better known to the world as Vybz Kartel. And based on everything he's doing since his release, this story is far from over. The next chapter is just beginning. Comment below if you think Vybz Kartel's comeback is the greatest in music history.